I've done far worse than kill you. I've hurt you. And I wish to go on hurting you. I shall leave you as you left me, as you left her. Marooned for all eternity in the center of a dead planet. Buried alive. Buried alive. I'll chase him round the moons of Nivea and round the Antares maelstrom and round perdition's flames before I give him up. You're hiding. Hiding behind rules and regulations.
Who am I hiding from?
From yourself, Admiral.
Logic clearly dictates that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
How we face death is at least as important as how we face life.
But I wanted you to know first who it was who had beaten you.
Lieutenant Savick was right. You never have faced death.
Well, here we are nearly 6 months later, and I'm doing another movie review. Today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite movies, which is Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Star Trek II was released way back in 1982, and it came out 3 years after Star Trek the Motion Picture. Now, I didn't review Star Trek the Motion Picture first because it's a very different film from Star Trek II. Star Trek the Motion Picture has a very slow pace to it, and I feel like they were going for a sort of 2001 A Space Odyssey vibe with it, and it didn't work out too great. Not to say that the film's bad, but I just feel like you have to be a hardcore Star Trek fan to really get enjoyment out of it. Star Trek II, however, is a film that I think everyone can enjoy. It has action, suspense, revenge, themes of friendship, everything that can make for a great film. And I think one of the film's greatest strengths is in its directing. After Robert Wise left the production of the first film, Paramount had to hire a new director, and they landed on Nicholas Meyer. Now, Nicholas Meyer was not a fan of Star Trek originally, and you'd think that being a fact, the movie would just crash and burn, but I feel like Meyer brought a fresh perspective to the series. Nicholas Meyer wanted Starfleet to have like a Navy-esque vibe to them, and he made the film more digestible to a general audience. Also, Meyer had a lot less money to work with in this film, while Star Trek the Motion Picture had a very massive budget. Star Trek II had a smaller budget, and it certainly shows when comparing the films, but I don't think it was a detriment to the film in any way. The film was contained, but in a good way. The stakes are still high, and with the money Meyer was given, I feel like he was able to pull off a pretty incredible film. Now, the narrative in this movie is basically about how a ghost from Admiral Kirk's past comes back to kill him, and that ghost is his arch nemesis Khan. While the film expects you to some degree to know who Khan is already, one of the characters, Chekhov, does deliver about 2 lines of dialogue that catches you up to speed pretty quickly. I really enjoy Star Trek 2 because it's very action-packed, but it also has a lot of emotion to it. Ricardo Montalban, who plays Khan, gives a fantastic performance. Sure, he's a little over-exaggerated in some scenes, but never in a bad way. It's part of his charm as far as I'm concerned. Also, William Shatner, who plays Kirk, gives a performance that defines his career. While Shatner is also known for his over-the-top performances in this film, I felt like he was relatively restrained. And you can tell after 15 years of playing Kirk, Shatner's learned a lot about acting and a lot about the character of Kirk. Also, I mentioned the action earlier. The ship battles in this movie are some of the best you'll see in Star Trek, in my opinion. The final battle is like two submarines going at it underwater with just their radar. And in the first battle, you see the two ships coming together side by side, shooting at each other. And that's what I mean. It has like a Navy-esque vibe to it. They also add a lot of suspense to the battle, which makes it more fun. And you feel like every shot that's fired has emotion behind it because of Ricardo Montalban's performance. You can feel the hate that he feels towards Kirk. I'm one of those people, I just hate seeing action for the sake of action. And I really appreciated it about this film, that the action had weight to it, had emotion. Now, one of the themes in this film is about Captain Kirk wanting to be young again. He's sitting behind a desk. He's an admiral now, and he just doesn't enjoy the job as much as he enjoys being captain. But in the first hour of the film, Khan cripples the Enterprise and makes the stakes even higher. Kirk must now try to defeat a superhuman with a crippled ship, and the only thing he has to help him is, ironically, his experience. So while he longs to be young again, his experience is what he relies on and what defines him in this film. Also, speaking to the emotional weight of the film, I should mention, spoiler alert, Spock's death. Now, originally, Leonard Nimoy, who plays Spock, thought that this was going to be the last of the Star Trek movies, so he thought it'd be a good idea to kill Spock off. And I largely agree with the decision because it showed how far Spock had come as a character since the original series. And his death was handled incredibly well. Both Shatner and Nimoy give great performances in this scene, and it's Oscar-worthy as far as I'm concerned. As far as nitpicks would go with this movie, I really only have one major one. It's that Khan and Kirk never meet face to face. They only talk over screens, and it would have been cool to have a Khan and Kirk go fisticuffs at one point, but that's just the fanboy in me. You gotta love Shatner's fighting moves from the 60s TV show, and I kind of wanted to see that again. What can I say? But overall, it's just a nitpick. It's pretty hard to find something that's wrong with this film. Also, it would be borderline criminal if I didn't mention the music. James Horner composes the music, and he does a really great job. I've always loved the theme since I was a kid, and after watching the film, I'd always find myself listening to it while I was working or while I was driving, or occasionally humming it to myself. While I don't think it quite measures up to Jerry Goldsmith's original theme, I feel like the vibe that this movie was going for, the music works perfect. So, that is my review for Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'm going to try and release content more often. I'm thinking about doing Star Trek 3 next, but we'll see how everything goes. So, thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.